Hey, how's it going, guys? Mr. Boss for the win here. And in today's GTA video, we're going to be talking about when the next date might be when we actually could hear something from Rockstar. So whether that's an update regarding what's happening next in Grand Theft Auto Online, something new regarding GTA 5 on the PS5 and Xbox Series X. And speaking of the PS5, we'll be talking about that a little bit later on in this video, as well as if Rockstar could be making an announcement for something they haven't touched on yet, like an unreleased title or something new altogether. Now, the reason we know this is Rockstar's parent company, Take-Two Interactive, has actually announced the details of when their next earnings conference call is going to be. So I'll leave a link to this in the description, but on Take-Two's website, they have event details, Q2 2021, Take-Two Interactive Software Inc. earnings conference call, which is going to be taking place on the 5th of November, 2020 at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So just really quickly looking at a calendar, we're roughly about 3.5 weeks away from that happening. That's going to be taking place on a Thursday, which is interesting for a couple of reasons. Number one, that's usually when not only new Grand Theft Auto Online DLCs have been coming out, but when our weekly events have been happening as well. So just something to keep in mind. It's also a couple of days after Halloween. Not sure if Rockstar has anything specifically planned for either of their titles. And it's also 2 days after the election, or Election Day here in the US, which is obviously November 3rd, so that makes it a very interesting time for this event to take place. So I think this is interesting for a couple of reasons. Number one, during these events, Strauss Zelnick, who is the Take-Two Interactive CEO and chairman, usually ends up talking a lot about the successful things that either Rockstar has planned or that they are doing. So let's talk about the planned part first and also looking ahead at the future. So sometimes the language that Strauss Zelnick will use during these conferences is actually giving us sort of close hints and clues that something might be right around the corner. Whether it's the business lingo that he uses or it's the language that he talks about when describing what might be happening next, he'll usually give like tiny bits of information that says, look forward to our labels doing this. Like, for example, a couple of earnings calls ago, they announced that, by 2025 or something like that, they would have 95 new games out. Well, obviously that's very impressive and that's very exciting. So he could always talk about something that's happening in the present or happening in the future. But more importantly, what I think these conference calls are used for is to discuss things that have happened in the past. And I suspect that between now, which is Saturday, October 10th, and Thursday, November 5th, that we will hear something from Rockstar. Because there hasn't really been anything to talk about. Red Dead Online has not had a new update. Grand Theft Auto Online has not had a new update since their last earnings call. So there'd really be nothing all that exciting to report on, unless, of course, Rockstar had some sort of big-time announcement. Now, this could very easily be for Red Dead Redemption 2 or Red Dead Online, so if it was going to be about Grand Theft Auto 5, I would imagine it would be about the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X versions of the game that'll be coming out in the second half of 2021, and this would be interesting timing because when that event takes place on November 5th, that would be about a week or two before the next generation systems do start to roll out. So you'd think that maybe Rockstar would want to have more information on their title to sort of build into the hype of those new systems releasing. So that's likely to be the case if it has to do with GTA 5. If it has to do with Grand Theft Auto Online, I would suspect we would get new information on the upcoming December DLC, which again, Rockstar has told us about is going to be the biggest update ever, a new heist in an entirely new location. So I think those are the two most likely outcomes there, is that Strauss Zelnick talks about something interesting for the future, or between now and then, Rockstar announces something and gives Strauss the opportunity to talk about it on that presentation. And then there's always like a 1% chance that between then and now or on that date, that Rockstar do talk about maybe something unreleased, or they talk about something that they just announced. Obviously, optimists are going to hope that it's Grand Theft Auto 6 or something of the like, but I think that that is a little bit less likely than, something for GTA, Red Dead Redemption, etc. So simply bookmark that date on your calendar, and as it arrives and if anything interesting is discussed, I'll be sure to keep you guys updated. But that could be the day in which Rockstar talks about something interesting, or by this point in time, when it does occur, something interesting would have been announced and they can discuss more about it. So hopefully that means that that is good news. Now, speaking of Rockstar and them announcing things, they have been very quiet on their social media page lately. In fact, the only other thing they've talked about, aside from them working alongside other charities and showcasing fan art on occasion, the other day, Rockstar once again reminded players that if you play GTA Online anytime this week, you can get the fruit tea and let your friends know that you take the Think Simple lifestyle seriously. I don't know why they felt the need to put this out on Twitter, but they did. And it definitely caused an interesting reaction from fans. They were just like, why are you tweeting this? Like, we know it's on the newswire and it's just a shirt. Like, I wish you would tweet something new and interesting and exciting about what maybe is coming next or some new information. So that's what Rockstar has done on their social media. It has been very quiet from them recently. And again, hopefully we hear something from them between now or on the 5th of November, because we really need something exciting to talk about and look forward to, especially in GTA Online. Now, more good news regarding the PlayStation 5, a console I'm assuming many of you guys are going to be picking up. This is great news for GTA 5 and Red Dead Redemption 2, because it looks like a lot of PlayStation 4 games will be playable on PlayStation 5, because Sony ended up coming out with an article where they talked about how PS4 games will work on the PlayStation 5, saying that the overwhelming majority of 4,000 plus PS4 games are available on the PlayStation 5 console. They go on to say select PS4 games will benefit from the PS5's console game boost, which may make PS4 games run with a higher or smoother frame rate. Although many PS4 games are playable on PS5 consoles, some functionalities that were available on the PlayStation 4 might not be available on the PS5 consoles. In addition, some PS4 games may exhibit errors or unexpected behaviors when playing on PlayStation 5 consoles. Before purchasing add-ons to play with your PS4 games on PS5, please try to boot and play your PS4 games on your PS5 to see if you're happy with the play experience. And then they talk about updating and VR, stuff like that. And they also go into and on that same site, they mention that there's only a couple of PS4 only games, and none of them are Rockstar titles, which means that Red Dead Redemption 2 and Grand Theft Auto 5 will both be playable on the PS5. Now, as far as Grand Theft Auto 5 goes, this is not a workaround to purchasing the expanded and enhanced version that'll be coming out in 2021. This is just a backwards compatibility version, but that means you won't have to repurchase Grand Theft Auto 5 for the PlayStation 5 or Red Dead Redemption 2 for the PlayStation 5 if you already own it on PS4. You'll simply just be able to play. So that is quite nice. I know that's one thing that players are a little bit fussy with Rockstar about, is that they are doing the expanded and enhanced version of GTA 5 on the PS5, but it looks like you won't have to purchase that game unless you really want to. You'll still be able to play your PS4 copy on the PlayStation 5. So you'll be able to hop into Grand Theft Auto Online on day one, and there shouldn't be any interruption in your ability to play Grand Theft Auto single player or multiplayer. So more good news on the Sony and PlayStation 5 front. I'm assuming at least maybe half of you guys that are watching this video will probably be picking up a PlayStation 5. Maybe some of you guys will be picking up both. Maybe some will only be picking up an Xbox Series X or an Xbox Series S. Who knows? But this is good news in general, because backwards compatibility and the features that Sony are providing should really be the standard. So again, it's exciting to see. But anyways, that is all the information that I've got for you guys in this video today. Hopefully you did enjoy. I would love to hear from you guys in the comments down below. Let me know what you think about everything we discussed, like the 5th of November potentially being a big day for Rockstar and potentially GTA alike. And also, what do you think of the news on the PS5 that you'll be able to play Grand Theft Auto and other Rockstar titles on day one, and that you've got all this amazing backwards compatibility news? Let me know what you guys are thinking in those comments down below. Would love to hear from you guys down there. If you guys did go on to enjoy this video, though, a like rating would, of course, be awesome. And be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel if you are new, or you want to stay up to date on all the latest GTA and Red Dead Redemption videos that I'm doing here on my channel. And be sure to ring that notification bell as well. Sometimes YouTube just doesn't work, and if you ring that bell, you'll always be guaranteed to be notified when new videos arrive. But of course, as always, guys, thank you all so much for watching. Take care, and I'll see you guys in the next video.